FlossTube. This is Shelly from StenoStitches. This is episode number 7. If you're new, welcome. So glad you decided to join me today. I've got lots to show you. This is a channel about cross stitch with a little bit of quilting thrown in. If you're a return viewer, hey, nice to see you again today. So like I said, I have so much to show you. I have FFOs, finishes, previous finishes, we have giveaway winners, regular whips. I did some fabric dyeing, so let's get into it. So first I'll show you my finishes that I had over the past couple weeks. I joined in with Sambrie Stitches for this SAL. It was a free pattern put out by Stitch Life magazine. The hashtag was Truecaller SAL. Of course, it was in support of Pride Month. I think it started on June 25th or 26th, so it only took less than a week to finish. It's a quick little stitch. I stitched it on 28 count mushroom Lugana with just any DMCs that I could find that kind of matched. Of course, it says, "I see your true colors shining through, and that's why I love you." And of course, that is a Cyndi Lauper song, and I was a die-hard Cyndi Lauper fan back in the 80s, dressed up as her for Halloween a few times as a kid. That was a fun little project. I stitched it on 28 count mushroom Lugana and just some DMCs that I thought matched. If I didn't already say that, I don't know. I'm anxious to get that one finished and up on my wall over here. As I said before, I'd like to take that quilt down and move it and actually start putting some cross stitches up behind me of what I've been working on. My next finish, I'm pretty excited about. This was a StitchCon start. It is hands-on design. Let's talk summer. I stitched it on 28 count Spellbound linen by Under the Sea Fabrics. I only changed one color. I changed out the red. You can see the original red is down in the station wagon, and I just wanted to brighten that up, but I liked it for the station wagon. I absolutely love how the fireflies, the yellow and the gray, I love that. Those are like some of my favorite colors together, gray and yellow, but it's just really pretty. I'm very happy with how it came out. So if you saw my post on Instagram, 3rd time's the charm. This is I have 3 of the 4 patterns, and this is the first one that I finished. Super excited about it. Once I just said, that's it, I'm stitching it and nothing else, it came together really fast. And that's what I did with the Truecaller SAL. It was the kind of project that if I didn't just sit down and do it, it would just keep going to the bottom of the whip pile. So last week I just said, I'm just working on this until it's done. It took like 2 days. And then that was right before 4th of July weekend, and I picked up this, Let's Talk Summer, and I did the same thing. I said, I'm working on this until it's done, because it's really not that much stitching, so it was very achievable. I think after 5 days, done. So I'm kind of on a finishing roll. I had thought about doing Christmas in July, but I just didn't want to stitch Christmas yet. I was really more interested in stitching autumn stitching. So I pulled all that out, but I just realized that if I want to finish up some summer projects, because it's summer, I guess I'm a seasonal stitcher. Like, I want to stitch the season that we're in and get it done. So that's that one. And then since I have that one out, I thought I would show you the autumn one that I had started last fall. So this is Let's Talk Autumn by Hands On Design. And this, I had struggled with the navy. It was hard to see, but at the same time, I was learning how to stitch in hand. So I was doing 2 things at the same time. Stitching for the first time on a dark fabric and stitching in hand. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on this a little bit, because I mean, I've gotten almost a quarter of it done, so if I can push through, I'm going to. Let me just pop that in here. Alright, so those were my finishes. I can show you my FFOs. I just have 2, and you've seen these patterns since Mania. But I finally finished the Fireworks mini set into pillows. I just love how they turned out. I put some cute, oops, little fabric on the back. I got some sparkly, I don't know if it sparkles for y'all, but this is like a sparkly red chenille. And this piece was the piece that I had stitched in the car on the way up to StitchCon. And this one I just did a little, like a letter a day for a week, and then it was done. Nice and easy. And this was, this pattern was by Bling Designs, and it was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine from August of 2017. So I got those done and finished before the 4th. Only a few days before the 4th, but I got them done. And then while we're still on 4th of July, my previous finish that I found in my closet, I almost forgot about it, was 4th of July Bird by Heart and Hand. Let me make sure that's the right one. Go ahead and look at that. Yes, it's Heart and Hand. So it barely fits in this frame, but I got this frame at Goodwill last year, and I just really wanted it to go in here. And then of course I cut the fabric, and there's really not much else I can do with it now, but it looks cute. It looks cute in there. And that's on 14 count Aida with the called for DMC. So the last video I did a giveaway. I'm giving away one of the finishing bundle and pattern sets, and a second just the pattern of our Kevin and I StenoStitches Happy 4th of July pattern. So I thought it would be fun to kind of do the random generator. I don't know why I did that, but the random generator on screen. So Kevin wants me to show you the computer. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Debbie White, you are the winner of the finishing bundle. Debbie White. She said, how fun to go to StitchCon. I'm glad you had a good time. Your 4th of July pattern is adorable. So, Debbie, go ahead and send us an email at StenoStitches.com with your address and what you won, and we'll send it out to you. All right, one more for just the pattern. Kathleen Ald, you won the 4th of July pattern. Thanks for the great video. I was really wondering about StitchCon. Now I know. Thanks for sharing everything about it. I love your July pillow. So sweet. So that was fun. That's our first giveaway. So Kathleen Ald, send us an email at StenoStitches@gmail.com and with your address and what you won, and we'll get that out to you. Okay, so next we will go through my whips. So you know how I said that I'm on a finishing kick. So my next project that I decided to just stitch until it's done, because it's quick and I could probably have it done by the end of the weekend if work doesn't get in the way. I'm shooting this video in between working. I have some transcripts due on Monday, and I'm going on a little vacation. Next week I'm going up to visit my best friend from, well, we didn't go to high school together, but we met when we were 17 and 18. So I'm super excited. Going up to New Hampshire, gonna see some mountains, swim in some cold water. Anyways, so I'll get this done this weekend. How Does Your Garden Grow by Priscilla and Chelsea, Stitching with the Housewives. So last night I had just barely done the yellow on these two flowers and like these words, and this was done in white. So I did all those flowers, I filled in the bees, and the corn was already there, but I did this morning. So point of that is very quick and it'll come together nicely. I'm using some DMC, some called for Classic Colorworks, but I did change the yellow in this to Golden Star because it has, my flosses are a mess. You do not even want to see my project bag right now because I literally just threw everything in the bag. But here is Golden Star, and you can just see all that variegation. It goes from bright yellow down to that golden yellow, and I really liked it. I think it really pops on that tan. I believe the color of the corn is the color that was supposed to be in the sunflowers, and that just wasn't doing it for me. It wasn't pretty enough. All right. I'm just gonna kind of shove all this to the side so you guys don't have to worry about it. Thank you, Snap. Making a mountain over there. It's gonna all come crashing down in a minute. Let me just get comfortable. I need to rearrange. Okay, this whip, you know, I work on it once a week. You guys see it every time. I got a little bit more done on Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. I had to redo, I was off on this top border a little bit. I had to pull out just a little and fix the corner, and I did those couple flowers, and I did more of this flower down here. And that is my Garon Toten bag needle minder that I got from StitchCon. To fold it the right way. Stitches on the inside, don't want to get in trouble. So there's that. Okay, my next whip was Little Women, which is Stitching Book Club by Sapphire Mountain Designs. I'm behind. I am only on the first portion, and I'm not even done. I still have to do the word women, and that section will be done, and then I'll move on to the second half. I am ahead on the reading. It's going really well, the reading. I really like the book. I got the Audible book, of course, and I got the one where it's kind of like theatrical performance. There's different readers for different characters and sound effects and stuff. It's more fun that way. Next up is Fleamarket Flowers by Lori Holt. I know you've all seen that. Not really too much. I think I finished the blue flower since the last time. That's all. I had to pull out this stem of that flower because I had said last time that I was unsure about the color conversions that I had made following along with Kimberly Jolly, and then I saw hers completed and it just confirmed it that I do like it, and so I changed some of those greens back to her colorway and not Roy Holt's. Oh, this is a good one. This was one of my WIPGO calls last month, and it was a restart. And I just love this pattern. It is really fun to stitch. It's Scissors and Bobbins by Jardin Prive. It is just super fun to stitch. It goes along really quick. And I also know that I really like 28 count even weave. It's so fun to stitch on. It's just so easy. I had been doing a lot of stitching on 32 count linen and everything just goes slower. So I might be backing off the linen and sticking with the even weave. Okay, so here's what I had started last fall that I did not like. I just didn't like the tone of the colors. They were too prim. The white didn't show up well, and I just didn't love it. So I picked out some new colors, and that's what I got done. I think it looks so much better. I just think that the pinks are much brighter and prettier. The blue is nice and bright. The white shows up really well. I'm tempted to go back to this and finish it because it's really fun to stitch. One of these days I'll like get my act together and like actually present my floss, you know, on a ring and make it look nice and pretty, because this is how it is in my bag. Not pretty, but I don't know, I just don't have time for that. Maybe someday. So anyways, this is a UFO. I don't know, a lot of people give these away. I probably won't do that, but if somebody really wanted it, you could just send me an email. I could send it to you. You'd have to have the pattern though. Okay, my last WIP is I Stitch by StenoStitches, and this is what I'm calling my bedroom stitch. I keep it by my bed, so I just do a FlossTube every night, and I've done, I think I only had the H done, so I've done some more here, and I've started this other bit that goes right here. It's a little slow going. I was trying to stitch in hand on this also, and that just slows me down. I can't do it. This is 28 count Monaco, and it's kind of stiff. So I just decided to pop it back in the Q-snap, and just however long it takes, that's how long it takes. But I'm still really loving the fabric. I just love the colors on that. And that was some fabric that I had dyed myself. So that's all my WIPs. I did a little bit of fabric dyeing last weekend. Not last weekend, I think it was the weekend before. We sent something out to a model stitcher, Halloween type pattern, so I wanted to dye some orange fabric for it. So I'll just show you. I dyed 3 pieces in the same jar, in the same, you know, vat of dye, and all 3 of them came out in different shades. And it's all the same fabric, just cut in 3 different sections. So see how they're different colors? And I believe the one that we ended up using was the lightest one. So I just think it's interesting how coming out of the jar and coming out of the oven gives it such a different look. So that's fun. So I have a few pieces of that for some future Halloween stitching. And then I also tried a different shade of color that Jeanette and Heather from Crafty Cottage Stitches, I hope that's the right name, they have this certain color that they love and they use it all the time. And they say, I believe, 2 parts Kelly green, 1 part evening blue. And they don't have any modeling, but I like modeling, so I did it the way that I usually dye fabric. Well, it didn't come out looking anything like what they make. It is pretty. It is definitely pretty. It has a lot of modeling. I mean, it goes from green to yellow to aqua. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this. I didn't really have a use for it. I just wanted to try because I've had that recipe written down for a while, so I'll try it again. Excuse me. Okay, getting close to the end. We have haul and plans and WIPGO. I was just going to show you what my WIPGO calls were for this month. I'll just go ahead and do that since I'm talking about it. It was Jardin Prive, something about gnomes. I'll show you where I am. I have to do 5 days on this. This was already called on WIPGO once, and I did that whole 3rd row and half of the 2nd row. So all I have to do is finish the 4th row. And this might be a finish this month. That would be awesome. And this is, I believe, 28 count even weave, hand dyed by myself. I only changed some of the white to yellow because the white didn't show up that well on that fabric. And the other thing that was called was Cross Stitch Nation by Heartstring Samplery. And I'll show you where I am. And I had just put in both of these away. I had kind of did a swap in my active whip basket because I was pulling out the autumn stitching, and I hadn't even pulled out the Christmas stitching yet, just autumn. So some of the things that I kind of just thought I was going to put to the side for a little bit, I brought upstairs, and of course they were called for WIPGO. But that's where I left off. Still love it. Just, it's on that 32 count linen. It's a little slow. So I've stitched 2 of the 7 people in this chart. So I got a ways to go. This will not be a finish this month. And the last thing is haul. I only have 1 piece of haul, and so excited about it. I finally got into Jody's Fabric of the Month, and I get 28 count Lugana, and this month we got this lovely blue. So pretty. I've dyed blue a number of times, but I've never dyed that shade. And we got this pretty purple. Now at StitchCon I got something similar to this, but this looks darker on screen than it does in real life. And the one that I bought was more, maybe more red or more just, let me get it. No, it's not more red, it's just darker. See, oh, it does look more red on screen. In real life, it doesn't look so red, but it's more wine colored, and this one is more like pinky purple. So, I love both of them. I can't wait to pick something. I have all those patterns from StitchCon that I bought. I'm sure I can find something to stitch on these. That's part of the reason why I'm going through and finishing a bunch of stuff, because I refuse to start something new because my whip basket is overflowing and I don't like how that feels, and I want to have these things done. I buy them and I start them because I want to hang them up. So you have to actually stitch them to get them up there. All right, well, that's it. It was good to see y'all. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, please subscribe and like the channel. Go ahead and share it with your friends. I would love to see my subscriber number tick up a little bit. eyeing that 500 mark. So that's not why I do it, but it is fun to see that number go up. It's just validating. That's just the way we are. So yeah, that's about it. I guess I could tell you what I've been reading. I meant to do that. I just finished reading The Good Daughters by Joyce Maynard. She is the author of Labor Day, which they made a movie out of. I read some of the reviews while I was getting the author's name and everything, and it didn't actually get the best reviews because everyone was saying it's kind of predictable, which I would agree. On The Good Daughters, I kind of figured out, you know, what was going to happen halfway through, but I still really like Joyce Maynard as an author. She's a great storyteller, and of course it's about two daughters that were born on the same day and then how their life intertwines as they, you know, grow up. Really great story, quick read. If you haven't read Labor Day, I read that and saw the movie. Same thing, good read, slightly predictable, but it's just a fun summer read. On TV, I've been watching, I finally kind of gave in and started Shadow and Bone. I did not read the books. I don't necessarily love that genre, but if it's good, it's good and I will watch it. Not all of them to me are good, but so far I'm into it. I had been watching another show on HBO. Of course, I'm not going to remember what it's called because I have a terrible memory, but I just didn't like it as much. So this one is really good. Shadow and Bone. I know a lot of people have watched it and read it and talked about it, but give it a chance. And then I Drink and Stitch Things on Instagram. She posted that she was doing some stitching and watching Dark on Netflix. She was getting caught up, and I was like, ooh, that sounds like a good show. I need a new show. So I went and looked it up, and I had watched the first season and loved it and then completely forgot about it. And now they've just come out with season 3, so I'm back to season 1. Obviously restarting it so I can get a refresher. The only thing about that show is it's in another country, so they've, you know, like dubbed the English over it, which is fine. It's better than subtitles because you can't stitch and watch subtitles at the same time. So I can listen to it, but it's kind of a hard show to not have your eyes on. And the same thing with Shadow and Bone. There's some shows that you are just perfect for listening to while you're stitching, and others you just need to be looking at the screen and watching all the time. And both of these shows are a little bit like that. So I've been putting my stitching down just a bit to watch them. So other than that, that is it. I went over finishes and whips and my plans, what I've been reading, what I've been watching. I don't think there's too much going on. Next week I'm going up to New Hampshire, like I said. By the time I get back from that, my son will be in marching band. I have a little surgery coming up, so you might hear about that later. It might delay some stitching or some floss tubes. I'll probably get a lot of stitching done during the recovery because I won't be working. So I kind of look forward to that. I'm not looking forward to the surgery, but you know, just got to look at the bright side of things. So anyways, my videos might get a little sketchy. I'm not apologizing, I'm just letting you know. I'll see you when I see you. Take care, guys. Bye.